Part 5 in how to make a space game from scratch. Hopefully you're not overwhelmed by now with all that's going on. Luckily you'll have this file and you can copy. Everything is royalty free. You can use any coding I've made except for the graphics. Please can take the graphics that are not free. Don't take them beyond this program unless you buy them, of course. Okay, let's go down to my variables. First of all, create a new room. Name it variable room or something like that. And then create an object, insert object called variables. Go to objects and put that little variable thing inside this room. Now you got your variable room. That room will control all the globals and special variables that are used throughout the whole game, and it should be your first room. Open the variable object and create an event called other. Where's room start? When the room starts, we want many things to happen. I'm showing you this because I had a variable under my ship that I use to control what ship I'm driving. Now, since you only have one ship, you don't need this now, but you will need something like this later. Actually, close this out for now. I need to show you something that's good. That's the most important thing I have in my game right now. Okay, I'm going to place my object on there. Okay, it's called Follow Me. It's this arrow. I figured out a long time ago that whenever I was making a game and I'd have my enemy attack me, that I had to add so much coding for every single thing my character was doing. If my character was in a ship, I'd have to have the AI be controlled to attack that ship. If I was in a tank or a truck or a helicopter, I'd have to add all this coding so it'd be able to attack me in whichever element I was driving. And so I figured out, why not make something like this arrow to where the enemy doesn't attack me but attacks the arrow, and the arrow follows whatever it is that I am driving. Therefore, I don't have endless amount of code for which that I have to use. So I have mine under spaceman here, which isn't a good place for it, but create a little instance and create a little arrow or something. It doesn't have to be small because it'll be invisible anyway, but do have it small enough to where the enemy doesn't follow this huge thing. And then after you create the object, open it up. And under the create event, I have a bunch of code, but you only need a little bit because you only have one ship out there. And then I have my step event, which has a bunch of code, but again, you only need one little piece. What happens is, instead of having my ship, this little arrow is gonna scan a global variable, which we've started to make our variables here, and it's gonna find out what number that global variable is, and then it's gonna create a ship for me. Remember, I was showing you with the ship that it had an escape pod, and that if the global driver is, when I'm dead, the global ship driver is being equal to 1, which means that since this arrow is ever existing, it'll create a little cargo escape pod for me. So under your variables, go ahead and create a variable called ship driver. Ignore all this other stuff for now or you'll get overwhelmed. What ship are you driving? Set global ship driver to 1. 1 is like my basic ship. And do not make it relative. Under your create event now of your little arrow, set a variable if global ship driver is equal to 1. Create an object, which is found under the main one. create an object of starter ship 1, which is your main ship, and relative. And now, set that starter ship to ship onto 1, because you want to be able to control it. If you wanted to start this game to where you were outside your ship, then you might set it to 0 so you're not in your ship. Now create a step event, and under this step event, this arrow is going to follow your ship. So let's see, scroll down here. Here it is. If the number of instance starship is equal to 1, remember you don't need anything else. So basically, if you have the ship, and here variable, if starter ship 1 is equal to on, so if that ship is turned on, go to move, drag the step event over here, and make it so the arrow follows your ship. Starship1.x to starship1.y, speed of 100. And eventually when you're done with this, you can make this invisible so you don't see this arrow floating around. Okay. Now if I were to hit play, I could see my ship, since we already made... Oh, we didn't make the controls yet. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see the controls. Since my controls are done, the arrow is going to appear, and there it is. You can kind of see it behind the ship. And it follows my ship. So the enemy will try to attack my little arrow, which is following my ship, which will give the appearance that it's actually attacking my ship. I think I'll end it there and then go on to controls in the next tutorial.